Hello and welcome to my 20th episode of my Kemono Springs devlog. And today I wanted to try out something a little bit different. You see, the problem with these devlogs so far has been that the progress on the game was very slow, because there's only so much you can cram into a 10-minute video if you actually want to show every step of development. So this time, I will only show the code and the results at certain milestones and code most of the stuff off camera and then talk about my thoughts behind it. And hopefully this will up the pacing a bit, because I really want to get this game playable within a reasonable time frame. So let me know in the comments if you prefer this style of video over, well, how I usually do it. Okay, let's get started. The first milestone we want to aim for today is adding conditional icons to our multiple choice buttons. So let's first start with the trait conditionals, because traits are already implemented. So I added a few arrays here in the script of the choice button to hold the conditional traits. And then I added a new parameter to the multiple choice window that allows associating a multiple choice event with a specific servant. So basically every window has an owner, which is the servant. And then I added a new method that basically links a trait with a presented choice button. And if the servant that is bound to this multiple choice window has that trait, then the choice gets selectable. And if not, it gets grayed out and disabled. And no, your eyes are not deceiving you, because Garlic actually added a comment. Look at this magnificent piece of documentation. And then I also put the visual stuff for the button style in an extra function so that I can update the art at any point. I wanted to display the trait icon for the condition directly on top of the choice button. And because I made the visual representation of a trait a separate class, all I had to do now was just create another trait element instance and boom, done, it's on the button. And I can already add basically an infinite amount of traits as conditionals, and they will automatically get checked and enable or disable the button if all of them are present. Like this one here, for example, is grayed out and unclickable because this servant does not have the trait with the little 4 as the placeholder icon. But currently, the trait icons of multiple traits stack on top of each other, like here, because the first button has 2 traits associated with it. And we got to fix that. And also I want to make a red variation of the trait element icon. So let's update the trait element scene a bit. First, I wanted to add a detection for mouse over events. And after tinkering around a bit with it, I struggled to make it react only to when the mouse is truly inside the icon. The problem was that the event always took the biggest bounds of all children images into account, so instead I added a new control to trigger the event, and then it worked flawlessly. And then, as I said, we want to have a variation of the trait icon fill color, so I added a setType function, just like I did for the multiple choice button, that exchanges the texture of the fill image. And this is what it looks now. Also, I changed the color of the text for the disabled choice to emphasize that it's not a clickable option. Okay, the next bit was a bit harder to get it to look right. I wanted to prevent the icons from stacking on top of each other, so in my first attempt I just placed them from left to right, and that ended up taking a lot of real estate on the button and also looked kinda ugly. So then I remembered that the customer elements already have this zigzag pattern for the trait icons. So I wanted to mirror that on the buttons. So I added some extra stuff to the icon creation script. First, I wanted to make the trait icons smaller as soon as there's more than one. And then again, I wanted to make this zigzag pattern. And now we have a visually pleasing bunch of icons in case we need more than one. And also we have a consistent design that mirrors a theme we already have somewhere else. Okay, here's another problem. The text space on the button is very limited. So what I wanted to do is have the text automatically adjust the size of the letters as soon as it hits the end of the bounding box. And at first I just adjusted the letter size, but then I noticed that it not only is much easier to just rescale the text box itself, but also that it looks a lot better if I just rescale the x-axis and not the y-axis. And this is how it looks now. And this already looked very good and I was very satisfied with it, but there was one thing I wanted to add before ending the video, and that was a thing that elevates every good management game to the next level, and that's tooltips. Look at this bad boy of a tooltip. I could have gotten away with just displaying a little bit of text at the bottom of the screen, but no sir, I want a solid frame UI tooltip that is directly underneath the element that I'm hovering. So I added a little box and some text and a title, and also mirroring the trade icon that we are hovering over. I also made it so that the tooltip box rescales automatically depending on how many lines the tooltip has. Because size doesn't matter when you're a grower. And our tooltip is one hell of a grower. Look at this long boy. And as you can see, the tooltip is overlapping the element I'm hovering, which was honestly an accident. But after seeing it, I wanted to keep it that way because it makes the element like pop out of the screen when hovering, which is pretty cool, I think. And that's it for today. We did a lot of stuff this episode. And again, please let me know in the comments if you prefer this format over the old one. So yeah. End of the video. Bye bye.